Hi, this is Alex, and if you love music, well, you've come to the right place because we're all about albums. We all enjoy playing vinyl. We like the ritual with the tactile experience of the vinyl album itself, going over and turning on your system, putting the vinyl on your turntable, and lowering the cartridge on the vinyl album. When sitting back and listening to your vinyl album, sound quality is probably one of the top things on my list to have a great musical experience. But what else can enhance your musical enjoyment? What things have I found over the years that make me happy when I open up the album? Shouldn't I be seeking out those vinyl albums that I feel are special and give me the full vinyl experience? After all, we are paying top dollar for vinyl albums today, and even more when we are buying an audiophile quality album. So, after you remove the clear wrap around the vinyl album, what are ways that you can enhance your musical enjoyment? Well, the first thing I notice when I pull out the vinyl album is the sleeve. Is it a paper sleeve, or is it a sleeve that is anti-static and anti-scratch resistant inserts? Those are the ones that make me happy. Here is an example of an album that, you have the paper insert. I don't love it. And the other thing about paper inserts, which I had mentioned on prior videos, it can scratch the album and therefore damage its sound quality or playability. Now, the first album I can remember that had an insert was way back when I was maybe 13 or 14, and I purchased this album over in London, the High Tide Green Grass, big hits of the Rolling Stones in their early years. And lo and behold, when I pulled it out, I had never seen this, but this was this fantastic plastic insert that protected the album. And I felt after that, wow, that's fantastic. I hope all my future albums had that. But sorry to say, as you know, not too many have that. Today, however, we are more fortunate, and slowly, more of them do have the anti-static insert. So for now, what can you do? Well, you can go ahead and purchase them separately. They come in sets of 50 to 100, and these are relatively inexpensive, but for your investment, it's worthwhile spending an extra few pennies per album so that you can have them for a longer period of time and have greater enjoyment of your vinyl collection. The next thing I think all albums should have and improve the listening experience is lyrics. I think that lyrics are essential to enjoy an album. This makes you connect better with the musician and understand what the artist intended. Also, for those of you who have catchy tunes you want to sing along with, it's great if you actually know the words that you want to sing along with. Here's an example of an album that the lyrics are actually handwritten by the artists themselves on the inside cover of the album. However, you can just have inserts. You can have a insert of the lyrics, as in this album here. You pull it out and there they are, the lyrics of all the songs on the album. Again, I think this is essential, and when an album doesn't have it, I think you're kind of not getting the full musical experience. Thirdly, with today's expensive vinyl prices, we should expect to have top quality vinyl. Something like virgin vinyl or vinyl with good formulations to give us good sound quality. That's why a lot of us purchase British pressings, especially of the Beatles albums, for several factors, but one was they were pressed on better vinyl than the American version, and therefore the sound quality of a British pressing of a Beatles album was superior. Today, this is still not the norm, but it should become the norm. Also, we support companies like Mobile Fidelity and Analog Productions, amongst others, due to their quality vinyl formulation. I get excited when a vinyl album is a gatefold album like this one here. I love the sound of it opening, seeing the crackle of the album cover itself. Also, you have opportunities such as here to have more photos or artwork, or hear some text that you can appreciate more and get into the album more. There's a secondary reason, and that is that when an album is a gatefold album, the spine of the album is wider. Well, why is that important? When you have the album stacked on your shelf and you're trying to find the album you want, and it's not clearly printed on the spine of the album, this could be a problem. Here are two examples of the writing going along the spine and then wrapping around. Here's another such example, and I have many examples of this. One of the ways to prevent this is taking a little time, if there's multiple copies in the bin, to pick one that has good lettering on the side. As I have shown you, here's another gatefold album with a lot of text, some images, but again, very clearly seen here on the spine of the album, the title of the album and the company, record label, etc. So I think that that's a very important factor. Gatefold covers that also secondarily give you better visualization of what the spine of the album actually says. The next item on my list would be the weight of the album. Today, I think it would be better if all albums were at 180 gram weight or more. And I hate, especially in the early days, getting these albums that have very lightweight, they're very thin albums. And the problem with them is warping. I have, in my early years, had to return 10 to 20% of all my album purchases because when I got home, lo and behold, they were warped and they didn't play on my turntable. So, with 180 gram or higher weight albums, the chances of a warp decrease significantly. Here is a 180 gram album, is perfectly flat. This plays beautifully. There's very little chance of an album of this weight and quality to have a warp within it. The next thing I look for is the ability to figure out which is side A and side B, or side 1 and side 2. So the record label to me should have it clearly written. And today that is not the case. I have seen albums with teeny tiny lettering, very, very hard to see the album side. Here is an album, however, that is clearly labeled. You can see the letter A is quite large and it is circled to highlight it. Same on the second side, side B. So you don't have that problem. Also, on the label, all the songs that are on that side of the album should be listed as seen here, and on the flip side as well. Now, there are many albums out there that do not have a track list at all, or they put all the songs on one side of the label. And I find this to be less than a good experience. So I think the label is important, so the side should be easily seen, as well as the tracks of the album should be listed on each side. Although probably I'm nitpicking at this point, one of the things I would like to see on all albums is the length of the song. Some albums, like this one in the back, do list the length of the songs. Why do I like that? Well, it lets me know what I can anticipate in the song. Yes, if the song is very short, I know we're going to get to the chorus quicker, and that the chorus may not repeat itself many times, whereas songs that are longer, usually the build up to the chorus takes longer. And I think it's, for me, helpful to know the length of the songs on the album. It should be a standard feature that on the back cover of the album, the information as to who the engineer was, where it was recorded, what album label we're talking about, who the mixing engineer is, where it was mastered. These are things that help you decide if this is an album that will probably be of good quality or not. Also, on artists you're not familiar with, this also gives you insight if this album is one that you possibly will enjoy. Here's an example, beautifully done here on this album. All the information you want to know about the album to make sure you're getting a good quality engineering team and mixing team. Finally, I love it when albums include an essay or some writing about the musicians, the artists, the songs themselves. These essays are usually written by a other musician or a music critic. I find it very informative and adds to the enjoyment and deeper understanding of the album and the artist. These essays were typically seen on the back cover or more commonly in gatefold cover albums, typically in old jazz albums. Here's an example of a jazz album with a lot of information about the songs and the musicians. And here is another one, another album, also jazz style, and this one is more current, and this one also contains quite a bit of information about the artist and the songs and what the intention of the album is. I find this truly informative and helpful. Unfortunately, it's not seen that much today. We do see it in box sets, but it would be nice if we have a little blurb written inside each album of what the artist intended. So you've heard my long list of things that I find very helpful and give me truly more joy while listening to the album. So what can we do about it? Well, one of the things is we can support those record labels, those pressing plants, those companies that put out fine quality albums. And if we support them, we know they'll be around longer. And also other companies may then get the hint. Companies like Mobile Fidelity, Analog Productions, Blue Note Records, and many others do have higher standards, and those are the companies that we should be supporting for those very reasons. I've spoken about the things that are available, and it's sort of like hitting the holy grail when you get an album that includes all the things I spoke about in one album. Now, I do have a few ideas as to what may improve our musical enjoyment of vinyl even more. These are a few original ideas that I've had, and let me talk about the first one. And that has to do with the label. I've spoken to you that many times the label, either the lettering or the numbering, is difficult to read, especially as us baby boomers age. So I thought, why can't we have standard colors for sides of the album? After all, musicians for many years have had in-ear monitors that have colors on them. For those of you who don't know, when a musician is either recording or on stage performing, they have in-ear monitors, and the right in-ear monitor has a red color or a large red letter on it to identify quickly that this is the right ear monitor. I'm not saying to take away the logo or take away the album art that may be within the label itself. Either we can use a background color, or the number or letter itself, if it's large enough, could contain the color. Now here's one album that I see that has done this, although there's no standard. Here is side A and here is side B. So they have blue or some sort of teal color and an orange color on the other side. So if we had maybe 4 colors that maybe is a mnemonic that we could all remember for sides 1 to side 4, which would take care of 99% of the albums out there, I think that might be helpful. Now, here is a more recent album that was released, and this album, it's really hard to see side A and side B listed. It's in really tiny letters here. But yet this album has brown on one side and that teal blue on the other side. So again, if we can standardize the colors, we may know which is side A and side B, or side 3 and side 4, or C and D a lot quicker, especially for us aging vinyl enthusiasts. My second idea would be related to you scientists or chemists out there to come up with. If you do, you may make a lot of money, as well as have your name remembered for the progress you made in vinyl records. And that is, why can't vinyl formulation be more scratch resistant? I can't tell you how many times I see scratches from the simple moving the album in and out of the jacket sleeve, especially those who do not have the anti-static and anti-scratch insert. So why not? Also, I know that you buy albums brand new and they have a scratch on them already. Is that done at the plant? Is that done when someone is putting the album in the sleeve? Or some other process? So again, if we would have more scratch resistance to the vinyl record, I feel that our albums not only will last longer, but they'll sound a whole lot better. The first unknown album is entitled May Your Kindness Remain, from the artist Courtney Marie Andrews. She is a singer-songwriter. She would be classified as an Americana artist, and this is her 6th studio album, which came out in 2018. This is a great album and was on many lists for the top 100 albums to come out in 2018 of any genre. And in fact, Pace Magazine listed it as the number 21 best album from 2018. Courtney Marie Andrews is a very gifted writer. She has a beautiful singing voice, one of the quintessential Americana voices. So if you want to know what a great Americana voice sounds like, listen to Courtney Marie Andrews. Pretty much all of her latest albums are gems, and I think you truly enjoy them. The second unknown album is by Sam Beam. And you're saying, who the heck is Sam Beam? Well, for those of you who don't know who Sam Beam is, you'll probably know his band. His band is called Iron and Wine, and this album is entitled Beast Epic. This is Iron and Wine's 6th studio album. It came out in August of 2017, and it is on the Sub Pop label. This is a stripped down, simple sounding album. It goes back to Sam's roots, and it is very enjoyable, and it was very well received when it came out in 2017. This album reached number 44 on the Billboard 200 list, and this album peaked at number 5 on the top US alternative albums. And now for this video's unknown album, the first unknown album. Okay, hope you got that one. And here's the second unknown album. Great, hope you got that one as well. If you think you know the answers, please let me know in the comment section below. As always, this is Alex with All About Albums. Thanks for listening. Have a great day. And remember, keep them spinning.